Welcome, everyone, to a celebration edition of Potholes and Politics, local Maine issues from A to Z. I'm your co-host, Rebecca Lambert, and with me, as always, is my colleague, Amanda Campbell.
Hello, Rebecca, and thanks, everybody, for listening.
Hi, Amanda. Thank you. We appreciate all listener support for our podcast. On our last episode, we focused on the latest meeting for the Real Estate Property Tax Relief Task Force and welcomed Carrie Leichtman as a guest. Carrie is the newest member to the group and represents the interests of assessors, taking the seat formerly held by Nick Cloutier, who is now the city manager of Waterville. If you haven't had a chance to listen to our last episode, it's available now on whichever platform you use for podcasts. As always, please consider liking and subscribing to our podcast so you never miss one of these informative episodes. As a reminder, the Legislative Policy Committee ballots should be in mailboxes now. Please take a moment to fill them out. The deadline to return them to the office is July 27th.
And as Rebecca mentioned, this is a celebration episode of the podcast. As the United States approaches its 250th anniversary, communities across Maine are celebrating this historic milestone in ways that honor both our nation's founding and the state's unique role in the American story. From parades, festivals, and reenactments to educational programs, exhibits, and community gatherings, these events offer opportunities to reflect on the past, celebrate the present, and look ahead to the future. In this episode, we'll explore some of the exciting celebrations taking place across the Pine Tree State and discover how Mainers are marking 250 years of American history.
Excellent. So jumping right in with our events, one that I found particularly interesting and is happening throughout the year is the tour of the Declaration of Independence. From July through October of this year, the Maine Historical Society has partnered with libraries, museums, schools, and other community organizations to bring one of the surviving 26 copies of the Declaration of Independence to each of the 16 counties in Maine. This is being done as part of the Historical Society's initiative, Revolutionary Maine, America at 250. The document will be on display for a few days at each site, with some communities hosting their own events simultaneously to commemorate Maine's role in the American Revolution. A full list of tour stops can be found on the Maine Historical Society website, which we will link to in the transcript, and the tour will kick off in Portland on July 4th at the Maine Historical Society's building. The event is free, but tickets are required for some locations, so the link for those free tickets is also available on their website, which we will link in the transcript.
That's going to be a really cool piece of history to see touring across the state. In the town of Smithfield in Somerset County, they'll be holding a chicken barbecue and America 250 celebration on Saturday, June 27th, which is coming right up. This is sure to be a fun-filled day for anyone who would like to participate, and it's being hosted by the Smithfield Fire and Rescue Association. The chicken barbecue will be held until all that chicken is sold out, along with raffles and prizes, pet parade, a kids' obstacle course, Maine potato races, a smokehouse demonstration, and a Touch a Truck event, where participants can explore fire trucks and meet Smithfield's finest, their local firefighters. So we weren't sure what a Maine potato race was, so did a little research. Evidently, it's a competitive event where participants try to collect a set number of potatoes as quickly as possible, one at a time, and place them into a designated basket or container. The goal is to be the first to complete the assigned number of potatoes. And historically, it's been played on foot, but in the Southwest, riders on horseback play using pointed sticks to spear potatoes from a pile and carry them to their own basket. This version can also include knocking potatoes from opponents' baskets, making it even more competitive. I also came across other variations using bicycles, motorcycles, and even cars, where participants try and throw potatoes into baskets. It definitely sounds like a unique event and is a far cry from the old potato sack race that I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that is different, and it sounds fun, too. I hadn't heard of a potato race either, so that's really interesting, and it sounds like a very Maine thing to do.
I would agree with that, and I don't know about you, but it's a great idea to pitch as a team-building event for the next MMA staff picnic.
Now, that would be fun, and we'd need to get some pictures of that, I think. Another interesting celebration happening across the country is a United States time capsule, with the goal that it will house submissions from all 50 states, the 3 branches of the federal government, and the 5 U.S. territories. The time capsule will be buried in Philadelphia on July 4th to be opened in 2276, which is in another 250 years. According to an article online by WMTW, the stainless steel capsule was built at the National Institute of Standards and Technology and has been designed to be watertight and airtight to protect the items inside. Michael Barilla from the Institute led the design and build team and shared in the article the details of the design and how the capsule technology works to protect the documents from humidity or from drying out and disintegrating completely. The capsule will be buried 10 feet underground, which is a depth safe from fluctuating temperatures or storm damage. And Barilla was quoted as saying in the article that Philadelphia would have to be 6 feet underwater in order for this time capsule to even possibly take on water. And if Philly is 6 feet underwater, you've got way bigger problems in the world. That just kind of made me chuckle, and it's true.
It's nice. Good to keep things in perspective. Do you know if Maine made a submission?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that because I was really curious about it too. Luckily, the article detailed the submission from Maine, and I was able to confirm that on the America 250 website. So if you're curious about what other states have put into the time capsule like I was, you can go to the America 250 website and see what's inside from all the different states that have submitted something. So the main contribution to the time capsule contained a letter from Governor Janet Mills to future generations, a poem entitled This Home We Carry by Julia Bousma. She's a Maine poet, and she wrote the poem, which was recited at Governor Mills' second inauguration. A bone from a North Atlantic right whale, which is a critically endangered whale species. A selection of postcards from the Osher Map Library and Smith Center for Cartographic Education. The postcards feature maps of Maine on them. And a woven Wabanaki bookmark.
That is a really interesting group of items, and it will be fun to look at the website and see what other states have put in as well.
Yeah.
Another fun celebration spanning across the nation is America's Potluck. This event will commemorate America's 250th anniversary by encouraging communities to sit down with neighbors, friends, and visitors while sharing a dish that reflects their family traditions, regional heritage, or personal creativity. In Maine, this will be held in Augusta on July 5th at the Viles Arboretum from 12:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. With the focus on food, one fun aspect of this event is that the table might stretch from classic American staples like barbecue and potato salad and apple pie, but could also include foods influenced by recipes handed down for generations, showing how Maine food culture has been shaped over time. In addition, with many new Mainers from all over the world, this food-based event could truly illustrate the melting pot nature, no pun intended, of American society. The event is free, but in order for the organizers to prepare, you must RSVP, and the link for that will be in the transcript. Ideally, everyone brings a dish to share, but if that's not feasible, you can still participate. Bring a story to share. Donations are also accepted, but again, not required. To help manage the celebration, America's Potluck has partnered with Community Plate, a Maine nonprofit organization that brings people together through shared meals and storytelling. Not only are they helping with the America's Potluck event, but they routinely host story-sharing potluck suppers, where participants bring food, recipes, and personal stories to share around the table. The goal is to reduce social isolation and strengthen community connections across different ages, backgrounds, and viewpoints. We'll put a link to their website in the transcript also for you if you'd like to learn more about this organization and see if there's a story-sharing potluck supper happening in your neck of the woods.
For those who like community potluck suppers, that sounds like a fun event to attend. I mean, food has a way of bringing communities together, and who really doesn't like food?
Exactly.
The city of Presque Isle in Aroostook County has the most extensive celebration list I've seen for America 250 in Maine. The list features over 30 events, with more being added, and they've started back in December of 2025. As a bonus, and partially thanks to a couple grants that were received, most of the events are free to attend. In July, the Presque Isle Historical Society's Maysville Museum will feature an exhibit that will run through both July and August called Women of the American Revolution. The annual fireworks will be held on July 3rd, and on the 4th, the Elks Lodge will be hosting a cookout, car show, and live music. Both the fireworks and the Elks Lodge celebration happen annually, but will have an additional element this year celebrating the 250th anniversary. On the steps of City Hall on July 8th, there will be a reading of the Declaration of Independence, which is the first time this has happened, and this event is also free to the public. With so many events happening in Presque Isle, we will link to the website that lists them all in the transcript for you.
I've looked at that list of events for Presque Isle, and it really is a long one. There will be some great America 250 celebrations happening in that area, and we encourage everybody to check them out if there is something that would interest you. In heading to the southern part of the state, there is an abundance of celebrations happening. On July 4th, the Maine Historical Society in Portland is hosting an open house, and as Rebecca mentioned earlier, the kickoff to the statewide tour of the rare copy of the Declaration of Independence. The museum is free and open to the public from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Also in southern Maine and on July 4th, and supported by the Old York Historical Society, will be a celebration at the Old Jail, the York Corner Schoolhouse, and the Museum Center, which includes the Remick Gallery. Included in the celebration is a reading of the Declaration of Independence, colonial children's games, a Patriot fife and drum duo presentation, who will be performing tunes from the 17th and 18th centuries, and a special walking tour called Answering the Call, York's Wartime Service. Advance registration for the Patriot fife and drum duo presentation and the walking tour is encouraged, and the link for registration will be in the transcript for you.
I had to look up what the Patriot fife and drum duo presentation was and got a sneak peek by watching a couple videos. I think that'll be a really fun presentation to take in if that interests people.
It sounds like a lot of fun to me.
Looking to Bethel in western Maine, they also have held events throughout the year. The museums of the Bethel Historical Society traditionally hold a community picnic and concert, but in honor of the 250th anniversary, the festivities will be expanded this year into a full day of activities. The parade will kick it all off, followed by a concert by the Portland Brass Quintet, games and activities, and a reading of the Declaration of Independence, which seems to be a theme for many towns and cities across the state. The celebration will be happening in conjunction with the Shy Novice and Closeted Art Show and Art Fair, which is supported by the Bethel Area Arts and Music. Rangeley also plans to have a full-day celebration on July 3rd, which will feature a doll carriage parade, a craft fair, a dunk tank, the Great American Dog Parade, a DJ, and fireworks to cap off the evening.
Who doesn't love a good dog parade, Rebecca?
Right. That's fun. Going on now in Fryeburg from June 21st through the 27th is a celebration that they have called Once Upon a Fryeburg. Events range from historical home tours to concerts and historical presentations throughout the week. On Friday, Bradley Park will host a celebration of community, history, and entertainment with a pie contest, a performance by Tina Titzer's Act One Dance Company, a reading of the Declaration of Independence, and will feature the Bridgeton Community Band, among other activities. The next day on Saturday, the party will continue with the Fryeburg Community Jamboree held at the Fryeburg Rec Fields. The highlights of that event include food trucks, free laser tag, live music, and a fireworks finale. Links will be made available in the transcript.
It sounds like wherever you live in Maine, many communities are hosting a reading of the Declaration of Independence, which is pretty cool. So wherever you are, be sure to scout out if a reading is happening close to you. I'm willing to bet that there is. In Gardner, there will be a variety of events happening through the end of June and into July that focus on the Revolutionary War and Gardner itself during that time period. Events include local historical speakers, a movie night, and a traditional strawberry shortcake social held at the Gardner Common. On June 30th, the movie night will be at Johnson Hall and will feature Myth versus Fact, the lives of Benedict Arnold and Paul Revere. And if you're heading to our capital city this year for July 4th, the day begins with a parade that runs from the State House through the downtown area and ending at Fort Western. At the fort, there will be a reading of the Declaration of Independence, along with a musket salute courtesy of the staff at the Old Fort. The fort will host an old-time 4th celebration, complete with a barbecue chicken and strawberry shortcake luncheon, a pie-eating contest, wagon rides, and a performance by the Down East Brass Band. And new this year, there will be a shuttle between the activities at the fort and the family fun that will be taking place at Mill Park, where there will be bounce houses, a story walk, games, food trucks, and much more. Augustus fireworks will take place at 9:05 on the dot, and the schedule of events indicates the best place to view them is at Mill Park.
Well, this will do it for the celebration episode of Potholes and Politics. Consider checking out one of these events, or you can also check your local town or community websites to find America 250 events happening closer to you. There are so many things happening across the state. A lot of them are in conjunction with the July 4th holiday, but many communities are also celebrating America 250 throughout the year. Regardless, I'm sure you will be able to find something that interests you, whether that would be a book or a historical discussion, a walking tour, or traveling to one of the spots to view the rare copy of the Declaration of Independence. There really is an event suitable for everyone. Also, don't forget the deadline to return LPC ballots is July 27th. And as always, feel free to reach out to any of us on the team with any questions or comments.
Yes, you all know we're happy to hear from our members about any topic, including what you might like to hear more about. Most of all, we hope you found this informative, and thanks so much for listening. And most of all, happy birthday, America.
Have a great week, everyone.